Hey, you guys, this is going to be your Saturn in Aquarius video, and man, there's so much to cover with this, so I'm going to try and keep it really concise and brief and stay on task. So Saturn is moving into Aquarius on March 21st, right after the spring equinox, which I will have a different post about. And as it heads into Aquarius, let's think about what Aquarius is. Aquarius is fixed air. And a lot of astrologers are talking about this 5G and the timing of it being during Saturn's transit into Aquarius. Until March 21st, we have Saturn in the critical degree of Capricorn. That means when it's in that final last bit of Capricorn that it's been going over for two and a half years, that we're going to feel some of those that Saturnian energy much heavier. And so you can just look around to notice that, right? And then looking at where this is happening in your chart is going to give you personal information about where this is happening for you personally. Saturn will go retrograde and it will carry itself back into Capricorn for the summertime and then into the fall, deep into the fall. So in December, we will have it move back into Aquarius, and then it will conjunct with Jupiter. And that's what's happening this year with Saturn overall. When Saturn's in this last critical part of the degree, it is the heaviness. It's all of the things that it brought up in Capricorn are kind of weighted. And so if you think about Capricorn energy, we're getting a lot of it right now. I woke up the other morning and saw out my window Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn all there, boom, right next to each other. And so they're all, that conjunction is really strong and really, really interesting. Not only that, having Saturn in that critical degree. So we are all of the things that Capricorn represents, and Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. You're going to be feeling that heaviness. As it moves into Aquarius, Aquarius is that fixed air. It's masculine, it's information, it's future oriented. And so this is why everybody's talking about this 5G and people getting more isolated onto their screens. And so I think it's interesting, if you look at what's happening right now globally, it's pushing a lot more people onto their screens and less interaction through the human connection. So that's all happening, and just to be aware of in your own life, you know, where this is in your chart and how this feels to you as it moves in. You're definitely going to notice and feel some shifts as Saturn moves into Aquarius around March 21st. So Saturn is all about structure and solidity, and that we're here for a short time. So when it's in a sign, it's going to be giving us that heaviness of that pressure to do the work while it's in that sign. So when it's in Aquarius, Aquarius is all about innovation. It's all about ideas, information, society, and the greater good, and us all together. However, because it is also about technology, can be how technology can make us feel like we're coming together when we still are human and we still need human connection. So all of those things to say that when Saturn's there, is creating form around that, and it's organizing some of that. So it can be an organization of large groups of social connections of the interwebs. I do think it's interesting that the companies that are doing well are the ones that keep us home and on our screens. So it's something to think about and look at. With all of this, it's going to be causing, so if you're born with Saturn in Aquarius, you're going to be having your Saturn return. If you're born with Saturn in Taurus or Saturn in Scorpio, you're going to be having your Saturn square, which I think is a lot more challenging than a Saturn return. And then if you have your Saturn in Leo, you're having your Saturn opposition, which is also challenging, but creates some decisions that will help move you forward. So that's all happening, and one of the things that we will notice is that judgment and judgment of others and of ourselves eases up a little bit in Aquarius. However, there can be, Aquarius still does like to discern and like to figure out information. So there's going to be a lot to figure out during this time period. So be prepared to use your brain and really think for yourself and be aware of information systems that aren't always feeding the truth, right? And really be understanding that even though Aquarius is a water sign, they are the water bearers who bring the healing. And sometimes it's uncomfortable, the healing that can come in Aquarius time with Saturn there. The traditional rulership for Aquarius is Saturn. That's traditional astrology. And with Saturn in Aquarius, it is a lot about that masculine knowing, like, I know all kind of thinking. And then the modern rulership for Aquarius is Uranus, which is interesting because as soon as we feel the shift on March 21st of Saturn moving into Aquarius, it is going to square Uranus in Taurus. Fixed energy is very stubborn. It's hard to move. And the fact that we're going to have that square around March 21st for a while is going to show us where change needs to happen, where we really need to be aware of what's happening in our surroundings and with our bodies, and also with the information we're being given. So really just being aware of our judgments and aware of how our judgments can keep us in a state of fear because we're afraid to think outside the box. And Aquarius time with Saturn here is really going to push us in this way of like creating new structure around information, creating new ideas, creating new visions for the future. It's a very exciting time. And one of the things to really consider is that with this last degree of Saturn in Capricorn, and then when we're having the retrograde, which will be happening throughout the summer and into the fall, we really want to be aware of how it can feel safe to think together. It can feel safe to like believe what you're being told, and also like to really trust organizations and trust corporations. However, the money piece is really a part of this as well, and a restructuring of the money. And so we really want to be aware of who's profiting, who's profiting from these systems. And as we move into Aquarius, it becomes more clear. So just ease up on your judgments. If someone brings a new idea to you or kind of questions your thinking, try to keep an open mind and try to really hear people out, because there's a lot of truth being told that people don't want to hear. And as someone who struggles with this a lot in our culture, of the truth tellers kind of being silenced, it is very important that we all try to open our minds and really hear things that are uncomfortable, and hear things that might question what we previously thought was the truth. So I really encourage you to do that. In terms of house by house, I don't think I'm going to go into that here. If you want an individual reading on this transit, Saturn moving into Aquarius for your sign, I think maybe I'll do just individual readings for each sign. So if you're interested in that, let me know. It is great to keep working during this time. So if you want to schedule a chart reading or an intuitive healing session, let's do that. And I'm doing an online course that goes 14 weeks from the new moon in Taurus to the new moon in Cancer, roundabout. And it's going to be on the divine feminine in archetypes and astrology, and how to integrate that into your life for more personal power and embodiment. So I'm really excited to be going through this journey at such a powerful time, and I hope you'll consider joining me. I'll post a link below to read more about that. Have a great day, guys, and do take care of your mental space and feed it well. Have a great day.